We done told you many times in this boxing game, Father Time is undefeated, and the fact that Bernard Hopkins is 51 years of age. As you can see right here, going into this fight with Joe Smith Jr., I told everybody Bernard Hopkins would lose by decision because I said Bernard will get hit with something real hard and he's not going to want to compete anymore, just like Sergey Kovalev. Now, everybody's going to tell you Bernard Hopkins chose this fight. And the fact that the guy who's the promoter for Joe Smith Jr. also promoted Bernard Hopkins' first fight. And Bernard Hopkins lost his first fight as a professional when he first started boxing. And that promoter promoted this fight too as Joe Smith Jr. So he is now 2-0 versus Bernard Hopkins. Now, this is one of the last shots you'll see of Bernard Hopkins on his feet from as a professional boxer competing in the ring. Bernard Hopkins got caught with a right hand. It hurt him really bad, and he could not compete. As you see, Joe Smith Jr. is looking directly at Bernard Hopkins. His eyes are set on the target. The referee is in a great position to see if there's anything he needs to do with anything. So there's no referee problems. There's no other problems. Bernard Hopkins is just 51 years old. He's more cagey than Smith. You could tell there's ability there, and he could have done something early on, but it's just not there. And what I mean, it's just not there. It's like he was a man fighting to survive in here with a young bull. This 24 age difference is a major factor, especially when you're 51. As in tremendous shape as Bernard Hopkins in the discipline that he has as a fighter, it's still, with all of that, just to make weight to get in here, it's still your body, a 51-year-old body that's been on this planet, walking around for 51 years, versus a kid, a young, strong, hard 20-year-old, 24-year-old body. It is hard to overcome that gap of being able to take the type of physical attrition that comes with this type of bout. And that's all Joe Smith Jr. did was use his youth and whatever inexperience he had as a fighter, it didn't come up or show up in the fight due to the fact that his youth and energy got him through it. As you see here, he throws a jab to set up a right hand, and he finishes a combination where Bernard Hopkins goes out not the way that, people would suspect Bernard Hopkins to go. No one foreseen Bernard Hopkins getting knocked out or stopped, and no one foreseen Bernard Hopkins going out in this fashion on his back with his shoes and feet in the air. It's just not how the general public saw Bernard Hopkins going out when they made the fight. It was an epic showcase of what happens. I mean, but that's a 51-year-old man going out of the ring. So I don't think he'll be allowed by the commissions to fight again. But, typical Bernard Hopkins fashion, he just could not accept the loss. Still droggy from a right hand, he fakes an ankle injury because he didn't want to face the music. He didn't want to go back in there and give that fighter a chance to knock him out cold and go out like a warrior. He said, no, I've taken my lumps. I got what Bernard Hopkins wanted to get and always gets, an excuse. He's Bernard, the excuse Hopkins. And he's always been this guy. He looks for a way out. Has Bernard Hopkins ever credited any fighter with beating him? No. It's always an excuse. Lost to Sergey Kovalev, made an excuse. Lost this fight. He said he was pushed out of the ring. Instead of saying, yeah, I had a great career, I give this young boy credit, he did what he had to do. I got caught with a shot I shouldn't have got caught with. I lost my balance on the ropes and I went out the ring. No, couldn't do that. He thinks they're giving this boy a TKO. What for? I was pushed. That should have been a DQ or no contest. Unbelievable. I say maybe he hit his head hard. He don't know what happened. Maybe he thought he was pushed. Those were punches. As you can see from the replay, there's no push. There's no push. There's just punches. I don't even see where he twists his ankle. Where was the twist of ankle? He went straight out of the ring. So this is why people have a hard time championing Bernard Hopkins. And the reason why they have a hard time championing him, because Bernard Hopkins don't allow you to champion him. He always has an excuse and it tarnishes him. And this is the lasting image we have of him. He's a bitter fighter. He's been frugal. He's all the other side of Bernard Hopkins that they shielded away from the public. It always gets to rear up in the end. And we see he can't accept it. He can't accept that he lost a fight. He know mentally inside he lost, but he can't let the people know Bernard Hopkins lost. It's got to be, they just want Bernard Hopkins out of here. He was always that fighter. He's always going to be that guy on his way out. So this is why it's hard to champion Bernard Hopkins. Because you think he's for the people, he's only for Bernard. And that's just the gist of it. And this is how bitter it is. Instead of giving the torch to the guy that beat you, nope, let's hold on to some controversy and make it all about Bernard. And there was a push. Now, he can go back and watch the replay after this is over and say, you know what? After watching the replay, it was the momentum of the punches that took me out. He could do that and clean it up. Let's see if he learns some humility. Or will he still continue to ride the wave and be Bernard Hopkins and just let this fan on out? Let's see. But the judges' scorecards, let's talk about that now. Look at this. Tim Chatham had Smith Jr. winning by 1 point. Pat Russell had Bernard Hopkins winning by 1 point. Are you kidding me? Thomas Taylor had it the right score. Everybody else need to be fired. That's ridiculous. That is pure ridiculous. Look at that. Tell me, Bernard Hopkins won 1 round in this fight, and that was the 4th round. There hasn't been another close round you could even give Bernard Hopkins. So to have Bernard Hopkins even winning the fight is a complete insult to boxing. The only time I agreed with Jim Lampley when he said Thomas Taylor is the only one with a scorecard I can understand. Because I didn't even understand that. And I've been watching boxing as long as anybody. So it's telling me that they were going to have a split decision win for the kid, or maybe they were going to screw the kid over. We don't know yet. But what we do know is they kept the realm of possibility open for Bernard Hopkins to win this fight. Now, I'm out. It's your boy Carcino.